I've been teaching golf for a long time, since about 1995, and you can see the gray hair because of it. I was a part of the Sony Handycam era, and then I went to V1, and then I went to other stuff, and then I met a guy called Nate Hairgrove, and he's smiling over there, and he's got his forgot the co-founder, right, of
Sir.
Onform Gear Fisher alongside. You guys changed my golf teaching life. You honestly did with the Onform app. The way it's, how initially where you showed how you could almost break the body down and have the joints show and stuff. It was so cool. And it's even cooler, boys, to see how Onform has grown since I first met you. So welcome to the show. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us, Mark. We appreciate it. We're excited to reconnect again.
Hmm. Okay, you keep
Yeah.
quiet because you've been on here before. Hey, Gear. So good to meet you. Tell me quickly about the inspiration for this.
Yeah.
It's such a strange industry to get into, but you've gotten in and made a big splash.
Well, have been fortunate in my career to work with coaches for 20 plus years, but I was spent my previous, 20 years in the endurance world. So
Yeah.
cycling, triathlon, et cetera, built a big coaching platform that connected coaches and athletes in endurance. But I've always been fascinated by the contribution of skill to sports performance, right? In endurance, it's all about your fitness. But in other sports like golf, it's much more about your technique and your skill. And there's no better tool than using video to provide feedback and essentially have a conversation between coach and student around a video to improve your technique. And I've just always been fascinated with high performance. So when I sold my last company, there's a gentleman I met, Krishna Ramachandran, our other co-founder,
Mhm.
and we put our heads together and said, you know what? He started Huddle Technique, and before that it was called UberSense. So he's been doing video
Use that.
forever.
Use that too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and but it was 2019, and we're like, I think we can do a better job taking advantage of AI and cloud and some other, techniques that we decided to go ahead and build a new platform. It's called Onform, and we ended up buying Huddle Technique back from Huddle. He sold UberSense to Huddle.
Okay.
Uh, we then bought it back from them, converted everybody over to the Onform platform, and that really kind of sent us on an upward trajectory. So that was in 2021, and fast forward, here we are. We work with 150 plus sports all over the world. Golf is definitely our strongest, but baseball, softball, et cetera, and been very fortunate to see a lot of growth and success there.
Use the word fast forward, people. They're about to jump on a plane to go to Frisco, Texas, because in terms of growth and technique, Nate, there's a new big announcement that Onform is, well, I guess it's a new partnership, right?
Yes, sir. So we are here in the next couple of hours heading down to Frisco. We've just finalized the partnership with PGA of America. And so now within the PGA Coach app, you'll be able to, as soon as integration is finished, you'll be able to go into the profile, the student's workspace, hit the record button, and it will launch Onform. And so we'll be able to simultaneously work right alongside with all the PGA professionals, 30,000 plus out there, all the PGM programs across America that we're going to be working with. So we're heading down there for some training and working with their education department and doing a lot of setup and things like that. So the announcement should be, we're thinking maybe the week after the Masters, somewhere in there, 1st April, it's going to be launched and ready.
And this is in 2025 for you folks who are listening to this down the way or watching on YouTube. One more thing before we get a demo, boys. I use this a lot in my little home set up in my garage here. You guys partnered with Body Track as well. So, I mean, not just with the app, are you able to video your swing, get all sorts of data, draw, analyze, that sort of thing, send it to your coach. You can get the pressure mapping data as well with a
Yeah.
partnership.
For now, for at least for a little longer, with Body Track going out of business, we're still able to work with the mat as long as we can possibly do it. But yes, we've got some new integrations as well. We'll show you some launch monitor integrations. We're working on a couple of other ideas as well, and we're taking Onform in its most simplistic form, which is just the ability to record, analyze, and share, and we're enhancing that with 3D opportunities and measuring and data and launch. And there's a lot on the roadmap for our team, that's for sure.
The Rolling Stone gathers no moss. Okay, I know you guys got a plane to catch. Why don't we, for the folks on audio, you can take control of the screen there, lads.
Sure.
We're going to get Nate and Gear demonstrating all of the features of Onform, and I would advocate, if you have any inkling to video your golf swing with your phone or your Android or whatever, it's almost a mandatory get from the App Store, because it's just so important to just get proper information as you video, because I found, and this was a function of what you guys taught me through the app, was that, the body can sort of disguise where the joints are moving. And so it was such an eye popper the first time I saw kind of the skeleton of the golf swing. It opened my eyes a little bit. But now you're doing so many more things. So let's have a look at what you're doing here.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to jump in, and hopefully the screen is being shared. You'll be able to see.
We've got it.
Excellent. You'll be able to see this amazing golfer on the screen. He's probably got this flawless. No, what we're going to be doing is kind of showing you a couple of different modes.
Or audio listeners, his name rhymes with Nate.
That's right. Last time we were on here, Mark, we had my son Connor Ace, and you said coolest name in golf. So
yeah, it really is.
a good time. But yeah, we're gonna have Gear kind of start us off and flip some cameras on, and then I'll jump on the other side, and we'll kind of tag team this and give a quick demo. So why don't we start the screen share?
Yeah, so check it out. What we're gonna do is actually show you here in our studio a multicam setup. We're going to go through a couple of different recording modes, and let me go ahead and just turn on the screen here. Okay. So I just jumped into the camera on my iPad. You're seeing my iPad sitting on my desk here.
All right.
It is connected to a couple of iPhones. Nate, you can even point to those if you want.
We've got one iPhone over here, which is for our setup would be face on.
Yeah.
And then the other phone that Gear's kind of moving is our down the line setup. And what's really unique about this is that we're giving coaches the ability to replace these legacy V1 studio setups. We're calling it Onform Studio, but you're able to use an iPhone and an iPad, throw it in a backpack, wire it up if you'd like to in a studio, or unwire it, go wireless out on the range and on the grass. So we're really kind of spearheading this studio in a backpack concept with just using iOS devices.
Studio in a backpack. I love it. All right.
So here's the setup. So with those two iPhones running as down the line and face on cameras, they're feeding their video stream to my iPad. So I, as the coach, could be holding my iPad, walking around, doing whatever. And Nate, let's go ahead and have you take a swing. We're going to be able to capture a swing. Oh, hang on a second. Of course, I have to actually start the process here. Okay. It's going to grab the two. Nate, take a swing. All right. So in just a few seconds, this is all wireless, right? So we get a simultaneous down the line and face on swing. And that's just happening with, in my case, is an iPhone 13 and an iPhone 16 sitting here on the Wi-Fi that we're using for the same Zoom. And it all happens because we have the control iPad set up, which is basically be like your old Windows computer in a typical studio, and the coach is back there. We can do all of this now with mobile devices, and we can do it wireless or wired.
Sensational. And then, of course, now you as the coach, Gary, you can break down the silky pass that is Nate's golf swing, and you can show us some of the drawing analysis tools you got in there, and there's the fancies inside as well.
Indeed, yeah. So not only can we, do drawing tools and such, typical things like voiceovers and side-by-sides and comparisons, and here we're obviously capturing a swing, simultaneously face on and down the line.
Yeah.
Why don't I step it up a whole nother notch, and we'll go to another recording mode that we call auto capture, and that is a hands-free way, so that you're literally with, this setup in a coaching system, or if you're just a golfer at home that has a net in a studio or in the backyard, you can now capture your swing totally hands-free. So check this out. I'm gonna jump into our auto detect mode. You'll notice that green line around the outside means it recognizes Nate in the picture. So Nate, go ahead and take a swing. I'm hands-free. It will see that he took a swing and automatically play it back in slow motion. And you're seeing it also generate now a 3D image, a 3D skeleton of his swing. So check this out.
That's very cool.
There's a 3D view of his swing, and we can actually rotate that around in space. So full overhead view. So that skeleton that we introduced you to a couple years ago, that's 2D, which
It's
we
grown
certainly
up a little
still
bit
have.
now, huh? Yeah, gee whiz.
We've now taken it up a whole notch.
Yeah.
And you can control things in the screen here. Like, for example, maybe I want to do side by side, and I can adjust this layout to a 2-panel view. There, now we've got, his down the line, the 3D down the line. We can even go face on, compare that to the 3D. And I can do things like turn on our hand path tracking, for example. So now I get an actual full 3D view of hand path. We're just starting down the path of 3D visualizations, et cetera. And this just came out about a week ago, Mark.
Yeah, I was about to say, my only question was, why the heck aren't I using this stuff just yet? And it's probably because I haven't updated my app, right?
It's hot off the presses.
Not yet. Mark, one thing I wanted to throw out there is what's been fun about this whole project so far is how Onform's going about releasing this. So our 3D has been a work in progress,
Okay.
and we're very strategic in how we're releasing metrics. That's something that a lot of coaches are asking us, like, where's the data, Nate? And one thing that Gear and I and Christian and others, we're just so manic about is making sure that we're testing what we have against gold standards.
Gotcha.
We've gone out and spent some time at TPI. We've done a bunch of gears testing, Qualisys, Vicon. We're testing all of our metrics against those gold standards, because when we release the data, we want to say, hey, we're plus or minus X number of degrees.
Gotcha.
And that's something that's really kind of a differentiator and unique for us. And just, to kind of get out there in front of it, there's a reason that's the numbers aren't available quite yet.
Okay. Well, look, it's coming. If there's one thing I know for sure about you guys is that, again, stuff is changing all of the time. In fact, I frequently am texting Nate when I open the app, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Because it's always evolving. What I do want to talk about, and this is just the teacher in me, and for the audio listener, go to YouTube, watch this because you'll see. But I'll do my best to describe. We have Nate on the left, the recorded front view of him. And on the right is the 3D image. I would call it like the stick man.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, guys, when I'm teaching golfers that golf is a strange game where you stand to the side of the golf ball and your left and your right sides do opposing things. Like when I swing back, my right hand does X and my left hand does Y, commensurate to each other. But the cool feature you have here in the 3D image is that the player's right is in blue and the player's left in 3D is in red. So you can almost separate these two sides where ordinarily that is not highlighted to most golfers and they don't pay attention to that.
Right.
That's by design, in fact, to highlight exactly what you just described. So glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, well, it's very, very cool. I want to talk to sort of the understanding element of this too, because a lot of golfers, they download stuff and they buy stuff. Yeah, and I'm a junkie for a swing training aid and for golf stuff. And then we buy it, and I'm probably representative of all of the audience where you get it, you're excited, and you don't read the manual. And so whenever I'm reviewing golf training aids and such, I have a qualifier that is, and the question is this idiot proof? As far as this app goes, it's pretty much idiot proof for the folks who are unsure, where anyone can go hands-free, record your swing, and you might not analyze it perfectly, but you're getting perfect feedback and you didn't really take very much know-how.
One thing I was going to add to that and not call it the idiot, but it is, and you're right, Mark, but to the point of we can work with your 16, 18, 19-year-olds who are on their phones and they know all the technology, up to your 70 plus 75-year-old veteran golf coaches who want to be able to just see the simplicity of the app. It's all about ease of use. We don't want to make this so cloudy and muddy that you can't understand and it gets in the way of your teaching. We want to be able to go in and enhance and help your teaching, make you more money, make your job easier, doing all of the tools that we've seen before, the voiceover, the drawings, but it's all about ease of use.
Yeah. And just so people know too, there's a feature, and I think Garrett kissed it earlier, where teachers, you can record lessons and comparisons and send them back, because you can compare old and new, or compare current golfer to a model, or whatever the case might be. And students can then communicate back with the teacher. But you boys know, Nate, you know this. I use Onform to do a lot of swing analyses for the PGA Tour that they use on their quick turn stuff. Like here recently in 2025, it was the 40th anniversary of Kelvin Pete's Players Championship win.
That's right.
So they drew some old footage. They sent it to me, easy import into the app. I recorded the analysis and I drew over there. Sometimes they, in post-production, they change some of my illustrations because they're rudimentary. But I'm getting videos from them, sending them right back with analyses. And it's a pretty simple procedure to get the stuff and send it to whoever. So why don't you elaborate on that?
Yeah, let's show maybe some drawing tools.
Yeah, I mean, we can take any of these videos, organize it however we want, but you've seen some of the drawing tools that we can do. And this can all be recorded in a voiceover that we call it, where I actually record a whole nother video, and I can even just do a quick 2-second one here.
Absolutely.
We'll just record screen and microphone, and here we go. So now everything I do is being recorded. I can even adjust these layouts. So maybe I want to make it a little bigger and show 3D. But all this is being able to be moved around and edited so that, whatever you want to describe, angles, etc., is easy to send back and capture. I can even turn on my coach cam here so I can make it very personal and interactive. And then when I hit stop at the top here, microphone, it's created that video, which I can turn around and send right to the student. So I hit save. I could give it a title if I want, and then it brings up a sharing panel where I can simply send it right to Nate directly. Well, let's say I'm working with Nate remotely 2,000 miles away. And you can see there's other people in that workspace that we could even share with, other coaches, mental skills coach, putting coach, etc. So we make it easy to collaborate amongst a team that's built around an individual athlete.
This may sound trite, but it's true. For anyone who's ever done a swing analysis or some sort of recording like that, it's simple to use, because there's many times for these things I've done for, posterity for the PGA Tour, you make a few hiccups or misspeak or whatever in there. I do that often because I go fast, where you can listen back to it and then you just go, I didn't like that, discard it and just re-record. So it's a pretty, once again, like the app, it's a pretty easy process to do.
Appreciate it.
Mark, the one thing you mentioned about just comparing, a lot of coaches use the before and after. Like I come see you, here's your before, we fixed a few things with your setup, or over the top, here's the after, the overlay features. But you also mentioned some model swings. And another thing that we've worked really, really hard on doing is working with some of the pros and friends of ours. Sam Saunders has been recently working with us, and he's got, as you know, legacy friends out there on the tour. So we're getting new model swings that we'll be rolling out here fairly soon. So any golfer that downloads the app can have access to compare themselves to a model swing. And don't worry, my swing won't be in there. So there won't be the good and the bad.
We've sort of touched on some of the major features of the app. Not that it needs selling, but if you were going to give, because I know you guys got an airplane waiting, if you guys were to sort of give the parting shot, to say, and I've already said so, but your take on the app and where it sits in technologies comparison to other stuff, and where you guys are going, what sets Onform apart? What is the parting shot there?
Well, from our get-go back in 2019, as I said earlier, innovation is really at our core, and the ability to make technology fast, easy, accurate, and get out of the way of the coach and really truly bring tools to coaches and athletes. That's just at our core principles. And then the app itself just does things that get out of your way. We back everything up to the cloud. We're now giving you simultaneously captured multicam capability. We're integrating with launch monitors. We're doing 3D. We're going to bring 3D data to the user. So we're going to continue to progress the tools in a way that bring easy ways to provide better feedback and ultimately help coaches help their students. And students who want to act as their own coach can certainly use it as well. But we're the innovative, easy, fast. Thank you for pointing out the ease of use to a software developer. That's like a gold thing. So that's kind of where we really play amongst the market.
And Nate, for folks going about getting this, talk us through the protocol, what the membership implications are, please.
Super easy. So we're an app. We go straight to the App Store and download Onform. We have a free 14-day trial. Anybody can download it and use it. And you have all the features that we showed you. We want you to test it, break it, play with it, get everything you can out of it for free. When you're ready to purchase, we've got a couple of options. One is the personal user, like Gear said, and that's only $50, I think it is, something like that, 50, $60 a year. Yep. And for a coach, it's either $29 a month or $299 for the year. So for $300, you have literally everything we just showed you as a coach.
Including the storage, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge. Yes, sir. Including storage. And here's the cool part that we've kind of planted our flag on is the coach paid for it and the athlete gets it for free. So invite all of your athletes, invite the moms and dads, the grandmas and grandpas, anyone who's looking after that you want to communicate with. We've got an amazing support team. And inside the app, you can reach out and say, hey, I need a little help. Can someone run a demo? I've got a question. And those support questions come to our cell phones and our iPads. And we're really, really quick to get back to our coaches because that's the lifeblood of who Onform is we're building this. And these features you saw are feedback from our coaches.
I sense excitement.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, no. We love this. We love doing this. Sort of a nerd at heart, of course.
Yeah.
And doing technology for technology's sake doesn't do anybody any good. It's the practical application of technology. It's just like, you could calculate 27 data points on something, but what are actually helpful? How do you actually make and move the needle? That's what we really focus on. So that's, continues to be core of what we do when we design the app. And at the end of the day, convenience and speed are the best features you can possibly build. So we focus a ton on that user interface and such.
Yeah, why don't you stop the share screen there so you guys can sign off? So people...
That's good.
Nate, please share the. There's a website as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. So it's simply onform.com is our website. And you can go to the App Store and search for Onform and find us there. And then we do have some socials. I think it's Onform_app. And we're on all the social platforms, and we're posting a lot of how-to videos, and we're trying to stay relevant with, promoting coaches that use the app and providing a lot of information. So yeah, for sure. We're out there. Reach out to us.
Easy to find.
Gear, one more thing. I see YouTube viewers, you'll see, I've been looking at it enviously the entire show here, that you're wearing a Bay Hill quarter zip.
Yes.
You're a member, or is it because of Sam, or you're a fan of Arnie, or is it all of the above?
Well, let's see, the following two out of three, not a member. But yeah, I've gotten to know Sam quite well. He lives in the same town that we're in, Fort Collins, Colorado. And Sam has been an incredible ambassador for Onform, and he asked us to come down. We were at the API a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So we got to spend some great time down there, and that place is magical. And spending time with Sam, he's an incredible ambassador of golf. He's an incredible ambassador of the API, and we're just so fortunate to be able to work with him kind of as a liaison to the tour, as well as using him to provide some more educational content and be doing more things with him in the future.
And Sam is great to work with. I mean, he's the best. He played in a pro-am, and Mark, I was his caddy. So I don't want to speak for all caddies out there, but I might be for hire.
Sam his grandfather Arnold would be proud. I mean, he
Yes.
is a quality human being.
Really is.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time at late notice. Great work. And I know you'll not stop moving, so Godspeed. I appreciate everything you guys do for golf and for the golf industry.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you. Love the podcast. everything you do. Thanks so much, man.
Take care.